Hello, welcome to another exciting and elucidating episode of the Omni Talk Retail Ask an Expert series. I'm your host, Mezzenga.
And I'm Chris Walton.
And we are the founders of Omni Talk Retail, the fast-growing retail blog that is all about the companies, the technologies, and the people that are coming together to shape the future of retail, or as we like to say, the blog that focuses on tomorrow's companies and tomorrow's trends today. Chris?
Yes, Ann.
You're missing your sunnies and your glass of bubbly.
My sunnies.
Yes. We are going to take this live LinkedIn audience to Cannes, sort of.
I know. I'm super excited. I almost get like imposter syndrome here because I've always wanted to go to Cannes and I've never been able to, or actually probably better yet, allowed to.
Or invited.
Yes, that's probably the better word. So I can't wait for this conversation.
Well, we are not going to be going to Cannes, but we have the next best thing. We're bringing somebody on who just returned from one of the super yachts of Cannes to talk about the latest trends coming out of last week's event, share some tips for the audience on how to take what they saw and put it into action in their own organizations. And joining us today is Fireworks Chief Revenue Officer, Jeff Lucas. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here.
Me too.
How was it? How was Cannes? Like, give us the quick take.
Cannes was great. Cannes was, it was so exciting to be in Cannes, to be with all the people in the business where we haven't been for 2 years. And I feel like it's about 3 years. We haven't seen this many people in one place. And that was exciting. It was actually exciting to get away from pitching on a MacBook. No offense to MacBooks, love them, love monitors all around me. But it was so nice to be in front of real people and be able to have a conversation and talk about issues, talk about the brands, talk about what we do at Firework, and explain it to people instead of doing it in 25 minutes, 5 minutes for questions and out.
Right.
You know, it was building relationships and rekindling relationships that from people you just see walking down the street. You'd see over 5 days, you'd see 100 people that you know. It was fantastic.
I bet. Yeah. And also too, so for those that are watching this live, be sure to ask your questions of Jeff as we go along, because I'm sure he's got a lot of insight he's going to drop here on Cannes. And then also for those that were expecting to see Susan Stracer Grant, she unfortunately couldn't make this conversation, but we've got Jeff here, which is the next best thing. So Jeff, I got to ask you though, before we go any further, you already have won the award for the most curious knick-knack ever in an online broadcast that we've done at Omni Talk.
Now.
Yes. Who is this gentleman over your right-hand shoulder? Because I know everyone watching this who's a fan of our show is dying to know this.
It's funny. It's I should have put him away.
Honesty, authenticity. That's what we're all about.
Well, that's one of the themes of Cannes, authenticity.
Ooh, all right.
This is Jeff many years ago when he was an ocean lifeguard. And some friends of mine thought it was hysterical to cut out a picture, tattoos and all. But we don't mention those. No, but and basically, make fun of it. So I think I've changed a little over the years.
What was the beach you were lifeguarding on?
I was on the South Shore of Long Island for 5 years.
Okay.
From a strip from Point Lookout to Atlantic Beach.
Okay.
And so on the ocean, which we always like to say, ocean lifeguards always like to say on the ocean, not to be confused, though other lifeguards in pools, lakes, the sound are very important, but
you're a special breed.
There's a hierarchy.
There's a more pedestrian, right?
Well, Jeff, I feel like we already know so much about you. Chris just kicked it right out.
Best open ever.
Yes, but I do want to understand a little bit about who you are, your role at Firework, and why it was important for Firework to be at Cannes this year.
Okay, so to tell you a little bit about that, I'll tell you about a little bit about my past.
Yeah, sure.
Formerly, I was most recently at Verizon Media, head of North American Sales and Global Client Solutions. Cannes was very important there. Before that, I was a global head of sales for Snapchat, where launching a brand like Snapchat, Cannes is very important, much like Firework, to get off the ground and get off strong and running. And even before that at Viacom, we thought that was very important to bring Viacom's entertainment message to Cannes. So I think to launch a brand, Cannes is a fantastic place to create awareness and create awareness with all the different, whether it's publishers, the brands, the press, it's just agencies, very important with agencies,
Okay.
And to get out there with the brand, explain what it's all about, and talk about live commerce, talk about short shoppable videos, talk about interactive live streams. That is important. That is where everything's heading to. I think, tech goes east to west. This is leading the charge, and it's creating awareness across the globe. And so it's time now to get it more from the east to the west. And so no better place than Cannes, where all those great clients are all amassing.
So Jeff, tell me more about that, because, like I said in the opening, I've never been, kind of jokingly, but why is it, like you mentioned the advertising agencies, it sounds like it's the place where the who's who congregates to have these types of discussions. Like, what types of discussions are you having when you're there that can elucidate for the audience, maybe that also most likely hasn't been there too, why it is so important?
Well, think about Cannes is probably, I think it's that intersection of content. It's all about content. I mean, Cannes is a creative content festival.
Okay.
And it's all about building content, and it's all about commerce, how to transact on that content. And I think that for Firework, no different. Firework is all about, when I'm talking about short shoppable video, and we're talking about interactive live stream, we're really talking about a new creative format, not the short video, but making them shoppable is new. And I think that basically what we're doing is, the walled gardens have used, having been at one of them, have used short video to drive engagement. And that's what drives engagement across all the walled gardens. So why not bring it to the open web? Why not take it from the walled gardens, bring it to the open web, bring it to every website on the open web? Because when you transact the commerce side in the walled gardens, you're not transacting in the walled gardens, actually. You're clicking through right to a website. 96% of all transactions happen on the website, okay? So when they happen on the website, why not create content there, going back to the content side, so you can enable more commerce? And why not, when the user comes there, they're gonna come there, why not engage them, keep them there, engage them and keep them there with the same short video that they get in the walled gardens, but bring it to the website? Because honestly, most websites are kind of boring, they're static, they kind of, I'll just say they're not that good. And so why not bring them to life? Why not own it? When the user comes there, give them a big hug, keep them there, give them engagement. Why not?
Well, and I think that's important to call out, because, we do have a lot of websites, or there was a time when a lot of websites were like engaging video, not live video, but engaging video when you came to the site. We kind of went away from that, and then it became these static pages. But now we are kind of seeing this resurgence of especially live content. Like, once you get there, how do you hook the audience? But I have to hear specifically like how that went over at Cannes. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to pounce.
I was gonna say, I just want to hear, like, from your perspective, like, how was the Firework, messaging going out throughout Cannes? And like, do you still need to have are people still saying like, no, we want LeBron in our live, our live coverage, or our live, when people are coming to the website? Like, is that still as important, or do you
look? I think celebrity endorsement is always going to be important. First off, the reason why I'm so excited to talk to you, because this outside of being in person, this is the most dynamic environment I've had, because usually we're presenting one way, people are listening, they ask a few questions. Here, it's actually like having a conversation, which I love. I think the content, one of the main things that was a theme of Cannes was authenticity. And I think when you look at our brand Firework, and we're bringing interactive live stream, to the open web, well, guess what? It's in that mode of authenticity. And when we do a lot of live streams, interactive live streams, directly from stores, directly with the clerks actually work in the stores, serving as the hosts. We work with a client in Japan, and they have their close the doors 6 o'clock, 2 to 3 times a week. They do a live stream with the clerks. The clerks, they do an hour show. Average view time is 21 minutes. Think about it. They're becoming celebrities now.
Right.
And we're doing that more and more across the globe. So that's right in that theme of authenticity. And when you look at Cannes was great in the creative aspect of it. And I think one of the top winners was all about that authenticity and about farmers and organic farming and how they're subsidized. And I shouldn't even say subsidized, I should say contracted by Anheuser-Busch to basically grow organically for their products. So where before they didn't know if there was a market for it, Anheuser-Busch came in, did a big contract with them, but they made creative built around it. And it was totally authentic with the farmers talking about what the deal was and what it meant to their lives. So authenticity is important.
So Jeff, I got to ask you too, because again, going back to like my perception of the event, right? You've got Ann used to work in the industry too. So you've told me the stories too about, you've got the creative types who like kind of, let's call it what it is. They're not shy of ego generally. They're, generally speaking. And they like a lot of production value and
Chris
what they do.
Chris is going to get everybody to drop
everyone in marketing. But I'm serious here. Like, I think it's a really important question. Like, I'm curious, like, what was the reception as you're talking about, just give the cameras to the employees in the store, let them shoot authentic videos versus like, cause it's kind of saying in a way like, hey, the big, creative budgets, the big creative efforts that you typically have done maybe aren't as worthwhile anymore. So like, what is the reception there? Like, how are you guys wading through that pool? Because I think it's a legitimate hurdle that probably people are going to have to get over.
I actually think you can flip it around.
Okay.
Because you can look at it from that lens of authenticity and directly into the store, but it doesn't have to be just that way. I think when you go to the creative community, when they're producing content for walled gardens, the average view time on a short video piece that they put out there, even if they make it for 6 seconds long or longer, is going to be about 1.4 seconds. So and I've been the guy in front of the room trying to talk to the creatives about, I want to get you energized about making something that's going to be watched for 1.4 seconds. It doesn't happen. All right. They're not that excited about it. Okay. But when you start to talk to them about, wow, we're going to do a live stream. And the way we're doing it right now is in this authentic voice of the store. And we're going to have it shot right there, with the clerks in the store. Well, that's one look at it. I'm saying we're giving them a great canvas, a very big canvas to say, you can have a 30-minute show. You can produce it in a lot of different ways. How do you remain authentic to the brand? How do you remain authentic to the audience, but also create at the same time? I think Cannes brings out some of the most creative people in the world, if not most creative people in the world. So why not give them that blank canvas and allow them to create on it?
Yeah,
and that's how I look at it.
Yeah, it puts a premium on the most creative to be even more creative in a lot of ways, which is sure a challenge that they quite honestly love. What other trends did you see coming out of this year? Just out of curiosity, authenticity being one of them. What were some of the other ones?
I think a big one was social awareness. I think the world is, I think one of the things we've learned over the last few years, not for me to be the one saying it, but it's a small world. What one person does affects many, and what one country does affects many. Right. And I think that social awareness was something that was being talked about a lot. Now, you have to walk a line there because on your messaging, but I think a lot of the conversation when you're talking about it was a lot about how do you produce content that is going to bring to the surface social awareness while also maintaining the authenticity of a brand within it. So it's really combining the two. So I think that's very important. I remember there was a spot people talked about that involved Dole pineapple and producing synthetic leather from the palms. Have you ever been, is it Lanai? The Pineapple Island? And have you ever seen where they used to have rivers of, the sap flowing down the street into the ocean? And not now, but then. So think about all the waste that from the plant and the trees and all the gases from how they would dispose of them. Now you're using that and you're forming it into an organic material. And then that organic material is being used in consumer goods. And then when its lifetime is over, it's organic, so it doesn't hurt the earth. I think there's a social responsibility there. There's an authenticity there, and it goes into the messaging.
And Jeff, are you seeing that, like Dole, for example, or other companies, brands and retailers that are putting out this kind of content? I mean, does it have to be this big budget content? I mean, if you're trying to be as authentic as possible, like, how are they doing this to really be able to create awareness, to create content that's can worthy, but then also like being able to do it with fewer expenses and resources?
Well, I think that's the challenge that makes the best rise to the top.
Okay.
Because if you could use every single special effect and everything, that would take away from you get further away from the authenticity, and then the social responsibility would kind of be at odds with, the social responsibility.
Exactly.
So it's kind of putting it together. I don't think that there necessarily has to be a high budget. I think it has to be done in that authentic voice and almost documentary style of what is going on, and documenting it, recording it, and sharing it, but sharing it in a right way that is informational, but interesting and entertaining at the same time. No different than I think what we're trying to do, with our live streams and with our short video.
You made me think of something that I had not thought about before. Would you also include first person in the narrative for that? Or am I extrapolating too far in that documentary style? Like, I'm curious. Authenticity tends to come with a first person point of view in a lot of ways.
Sure. I think you can get over a point of view in many different ways. I think the beauty of Cannes is you're not limited. You're stretching your creative abilities and talents. There's so many people there. When you go on, I love when you get on the plane, when you're flying to Cannes, all right, you meet so many different people from the creative side that are all there. And if you stay, most of the media side leaves, and the brand side leaves the Friday. But one time I was forced to stay over that Friday night. And that's when the big awards are given. That's when the big gala is. And that's when you see all the creatives in their best,
right?
Going out for the night and coming back and talking about what's happened on the whole week. It's pretty exciting. That going for that night from a creative point of view, fascinating.
I'll have to remember that, Ann, when I get my invite to stay there for that period of time. All right,
that's right. Come on.
Right,
over.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm there. So
I saw the photos from the Firework yacht. I was like, this is amazing. People are barefoot and like sharing all this exciting content. Like it sounds.
It's about, so part of it is also, think about it. It's about celebrating community. Mm-hmm. We've all been sequestered for the last 2 years to 2.5 years, and been kept away and had to watch where we go, what we do. And suddenly we're in Cannes all together with a common bond between all of us to, I think, do the right thing always and share what's really a great industry and a great business and celebrate it, which hasn't been done in quite a while.
Right. Well, Jeff, let's get you out of here on this. I think you led a panel, if I'm not mistaken, at Cannes on entertainment commerce. What was some of the approaches you talked about on that panel? Maybe you could share some of the lessons learned from that panel.
Sure.
In addition to what you've shared already around social responsibility, authenticity, like what else came up in that discussion?
I think, what we're trying to say to brands is you don't have to be held hostage by the walled gardens. Okay. You don't have to pay double digit, year after year, quarter after quarter to acquire customers. Part of what we're trying to say is, use the creative, bring it to your site, as I mentioned, in short video and an interactive live stream. But also, look, data is getting harder and harder in terms of using it. 2 companies have decided, that it's going to be harder to follow people in a cookieless world. So why not bring the user to your own platform? Bring it to your own site on the open web. Why not own the user there? As I said, give them a big hug, own them, keep them there, make them happy. Bring there. And also what we do is we share, basically any data we have, we sit on a site. We're not our own site. So we sit on an open website. So any brand's website, we sit there, any data we collect, we give directly back to the brand, and it brings down the customer acquisition costs. So we're saying, why rent the user when you can own the user? Why be someone who's just in the walled gardens trying to jump up and down and get a notice for 1.4 seconds? When you can use the walled gardens to drive back to your own website, and then you can keep people happy there in that authenticity in terms of content.
So I love that. Why rent when you can own, Ann?
Yes. Yeah, why rent? Yeah,
why rent life, right? It's an axiom in life, really.
And the thing you have to remember is it's all about, like, there's a couple of pillars. It's like, does the tech work? Yes, the tech is great. Firework, the tech works. Main guy from Taobao Alibaba, Rick Zhang, built it there. He's the CTO here. Content. Is it hard to make content? Well, we can show you how to make content if someone doesn't know how to make content. We can interact with creatives to make content. We can make content turnkey. Can you amplify content? Yes, we can amplify content for you or show you how to do it. The playbooks are easy, and then you can own the data. So I think if you think in that manner with those 4 pillars, it makes it easy to do commerce on the open web.
And Jeff, I just want to elaborate on that question real quickly.
Sure.
But for the creative teams, the retail marketers and brands that are, or retailers at marketers and brands that are listening to this right now, can you explain a little bit when you say like, we can help you with the creative? Because I do understand. I hear you, like,
sure.
Blank slate. You got 30 minutes, running a show with your clerks. Like, that sounds great. But I think, like, I'm guessing the people listening are going to want to hear just a little bit more on like what
Sure.
exactly Firework is doing to team up with those creative teams.
Well, when you do shoot an interactive live stream, we can do it for you, or we can do it with you. You can cut it up into short videos. Take those best nuggets, take those pieces, put it there. Most brands don't realize they have so much content already, because a lot of brands are trying to go into the walled gardens to create a social following and say, hey, notice me.
Right.
Here's all this content, I'm creating it there. We can take that content and basically put it right onto your website. Easily take it off any social platform, put it on there. We can take anything that's horizontal video and create it, because we're full vertical video. So we can, because that's how you use your phone. That's how every operating system is full vertical video. So we can take any horizontal video you have. Maybe you have legacy horizontal video. Maybe you shot things. A lot of publications shoot in horizontal video. We can take that and convert it directly into vertical video. So we can help you, or we can create content from scratch with you. Right. We can do it for you, or we can do it with you. We have a big creative department we don't want to be instead of agencies. We want to work with agencies.
Right. Well, what's next, Jeff? As we wrap up the conversation today, what's ahead for Firework?
Firework is basically what we're trying to do is we're basically a full funnel solution. So right through conversion. Also, we're into the world of expediting payment. You can do that with one-touch payment. There's lots of things we can do. Innovation is at the core of what we do. We're going to keep spreading the word of Firework going forward and building up the brand. And there's really, no limit to what I think we can accomplish with our partners.
Nice. All right, folks, you heard it here first. Thank you, Jeff, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for those themes too: authenticity and social responsibility. I love that as well.
And entertainment commerce.
And entertainment commerce. Yeah, the new EN commerce. I don't know. I made that up. In commerce.
Content and commerce.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Yes. There you go. What he said. All right. If Jeff, if people want to get in touch with you, and learn more, talk to you more about what you saw over there, or just get in touch with you more about Firework, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Best way. Jeff Lucas at LinkedIn. Love LinkedIn.
Who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Super easy way to go. All right. Well, that wraps us up. Thanks to Chief Revenue Officer Jeff Lucas of Firework. And
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. Thanks for sitting down with us. And for all those that watched us live, thanks for your questions and your participation. On behalf of Ann, Jeff, and myself, as always,
be careful out there.